Aloha everyone, this is Leimomi Keliikuli, Intuitive Soul and Mindset Coach here, and I'm waiting for all of you guys to jump on in. If some of you may actually catch the replay, because I kind of just suddenly decided to do this special training. So if you're just listening in, would you just say hello so that I know that you're there, and let me know where you're listening in from. And I will also give sort of a prize for those that are going to be listening in here. What you want to do is just take the link that's above my post there. That's the link to my Facebook group. And if you share that on your page or share that wherever you want to share with your friends, then you will be put into a little prize that I'll be giving away for Thanksgiving. So how are you guys all doing today? I just kind of decided I wanted to just connect with you guys and to give you guys some really good tips on how to really manifest your next 10K client. And some of the techniques or the things that I'm going to share with you, I'm talking from a very spiritual perspective, on top of the grounded aspects of what you want to do in order to make this happen. So again, if you guys are just listening in, please do, if you have a moment, just to share this this video. I'm not sure if you can share it directly, but share this video with your friends. Just copy the link that has my Facebook group link on your page, and then you'll be entered into winning a prize from me for Thanksgiving. So just say hello, just so I can see, who's listening. I see some of you guys are on now. I'm going to give a little bit of time for people to jump on, but I wanted to just kind of give thanks to my community. And this year has been an amazing, amazing year. Big breakthroughs and big pitfalls of misalignments at the same time. So I wanted to give you guys some really good content and amazingly new ways of expressing how you can actually create income, and but from a spiritual perspective. So I think I see Jen is here, Catherine is here, Michaela, Shayna, Sky. Yeah, so again, if you guys are listening, just to take the link above and take the link above that's for my Facebook group, and you can be entered in a prize after this if you share this live stream with other people on your page. And you just can write how to manifest, your next 10K client. Just write that also inside of your post, so people know what they're getting into my Facebook group. Hi, Tara. So, okay, so anyway, I'm just gonna get started. We're gonna be here maybe a good 30 minutes. I'm gonna explain to you basically the 10 steps. Okay, so you wanna get a paper and pencil and write this stuff down, because what I'm gonna share with you is the step-by-step process of how you're gonna create that next 10K client. And I'm telling you from a very spiritual perspective. So keep in mind and be open that I'm giving you different methods that you never really heard of before, or we never really implemented from beginning to end. Okay, so all right, so I have my notes here because there's a lot to share. The first 5 steps, okay? The first 5 steps is where people usually don't do regularly, don't actually do it consistently. And this is where they kind of fall into the pattern of imposter syndrome, or which is I'm not worthy enough, right? And don't have anything of value to give out into the world. And they kind of get just stuck there, right? They get kind of stuck not being able to take that action. So the first 5 steps I'm going to tell you, there's 10 total. Okay, so you want to get a paper and pencil if you're just listening in. The first 5 steps are really essential that you set this up on a regular basis. Okay, because in order to get somebody of a higher end client, you have to be more in alignment than anything else. Okay, Doesn't matter on any techie stuff or the content creation that you create, it's not going to work as well. And when it comes to manifestation, manifestation has a lot to do with your mindset and your soul alignment, okay? And self-love. So if you're really doing these three major things on a regular basis, it's easy to bring in a flow of people to you and attract people, right? On a regular basis, right? Hi, Krista. Hi, Evelyn, Andrea, Katie, Jessica. Awesome. So those are just coming in. Lisa, make sure that you guys take the link that's above here and then share that with you on your page or anything like that to get people into listen to this live stream, your friends, your family, and just put in how to manifest 10K dream client on in the title. You can probably just copy and paste what you see above this live stream. And then you'll be entered into a prize for Thanksgiving. Okay, so here is the 10 steps, okay, to really align to manifest your 10K dream client, okay? So remember now, the first steps are really important, so you cannot miss this, and this has to be done on a consistent basis, okay? The first step is number one, and this is where a lot of people don't know how to do because they think that they are, that their main energy of their soul is something else, okay? And this is where most people get stuck because they don't actually understand what the energy of their soul is, so how they can align to that specific energy in order to bring in this most ideal person for you, okay? So the first step really is you have to align to your superpower, not your life challenges, okay? Your superpower is the specific energy of your type of soul, okay? There's 8 kinds of superpowers. Out of the 8, okay, there is compassion, creation, order, love, self-expression, power, wisdom, truth. So out of that 8, you need to align to that specific energy. And if you're aligning to the wrong one, which is usually your life challenges is kind of just like the energy of your soul, just like your superpower also, right? But it's the gifts or the energy that you give to other people, like the outcome you give to other people. So when you align to that one, you actually create more chaos in your relationships and money. So a lot of people get caught up in their life challenges rather than in their superpower. And if you guys want to know more about this stuff, about the superpower and things like that, you might want to listen to my other masterclass and listen to the replay that I had just this past Sunday. And I'll put in at the bottom the link to get the replay, okay? Your superpower is so important to align to on a daily basis. If you're aligning to the wrong superpower, you're going to end up with clients who don't get you. They're going to say, I can't pay for that. They're going to say, like, they're going to basically kind of be a hater to you, or they're just not going to be the most ideal person. You're going to end up trying to give them so much energy and value, and they just don't want to pay you, or they do pay you, but they pay you very little, right? And you end up with the wrong ideal person, okay? So the first step, remember, is align to your superpower, not your life challenges, is the first step, okay? And by what I mean by that, let's say if your superpower is love, like for me is love. So I have to be loving in my relationship with my son, with my husband, with my clients I have now, with my group clients, with all my community, everybody. I have to embody this energy. If you're a power, you need to be empowering, inspiring, talk from a place of a leader, right? And show up, right? Like a lion, like, hello, here I am, right? If you are, let's say, self-expression, you need to really, really help people find their voice and actually work on finding your own unique voice, right? You have to do things that are aligned to that specific energy. Do you see what I'm saying? So if you guys are just jumping in again, the 8 superpowers, right? You need to align to the one specific superpower, not your life challenges. Hi, Iris. Hi, Heather. Okay, so did that make sense? Say yes at the bottom if that made sense for you. If you're stuck with that one, then do my quiz, because that's going to help you get an idea of maybe what your what your superpower might be, and it's the Soul Biz Archetype Quiz that's right on my website too at www.LeimomiKeliikuli.com. Okay. So the first one, right, align to your superpower and not your life challenges. The second one is you really have to create a sacred space. What I mean is like you have to create an activation. So any of you have ever tried doing an activation, or really even know what the heck that is? If you did, then just say yes at the bottom. What you need to do is you need to create a sacred space where you basically set a real intention. Okay, so this intention needs to be super clear. Like, okay, I'm gonna make 10K. I make my next 10K client by a certain day, or the specific energy of what this kind of soul is like, right? Like for me, I know my ideal client is usually a power type of Haldarian soul. So I would set the intention that I would create this one type of client that I really know that is the best ideal person for me, right? And you can do that by just doing a meditation. So you set an intention, you go inside, you go into your heart chakra. Because in your heart chakra, you need to speak directly to your ideal client. And your ideal client cannot hear you if you don't talk from the heart. If you talk from the head, she's not going to hear you. She's going to be like, they won't even see you actually. So what you need to do is you kind of imagine, but you imagine from inside of your heart. So when you're in that space, you imagine her. If you're wanting to create like maybe a group, corporate clients or something like that, then you imagine the group of people, right? What is the type of soul that these kind of people would be like? And this is why you need to know your ideal client, who your ideal client is really well, right? So if you don't know who your ideal client is, I would get a piece of paper and just write out the qualities of what you want your ideal client to look like and be like. Like, what does she wear? Maybe what perfume she likes, if she wears perfume. Get into the senses of who your ideal client is on a day-to-day basis. What does she think about? What does she struggle with? And you can kind of write it down. Either you can write it down or you can imagine it inside of your heart. Okay, so what you do is you create an activation inside your heart. You say, I want to create this next private client or this next group 10K client, and be really, really in your heart center when you decide on who this is. Okay, so that's the second step is create that sacred space and create that activation so she can actually energetically be pulled to you. Okay. The third step is, everybody writing this down, right? I'm going to go through 10 steps. So these are a lot of steps. The third step is you actually need to do one action that really scares the heck out of you. Okay. So what I mean is, let's say you have a mindset problem of being visible. And you just, really scared of doing a live stream, or you're really scared of doing a master class, or you're really scared of talking to people on calls because you feel really comfortable with talking on calls. Like, whatever is the thing that you're kind of scared about that actually will bring in that person to you. And sometimes it might not even be that action. You might be just, you need to hire a team, you need to hire somebody, right? Or like somebody that creates opt-ins, or somebody very technical. Maybe that's the action you need to do. Think about the one action that really scares you right now, and is always something scary. It's not like simple, like, oh yeah, I know I got to do that. It's usually something like you need to do right now, or else you're not going to create that client, that next client, and the right amount of money that you want, or the right amount of, or the better relationship that you want, all of this stuff, right? Okay, so that one you need to kind of decide within yourself, because it's hard. It's always different. It's always different. And you have to, every week you need to check in with yourself. So let's say that first action that you did was to hire somebody, right? Like hire a VA or something like that. And then you do, and then everything starts flowing, and you're like, wow, everything is also awesome. And then what you notice is, like, after, like, I don't know, a couple of days, suddenly, like, you get less engagement, or something just doesn't feel right, doesn't feel in alignment, you need to go check in again with your mindset and figure out what is that next step that scares you, right? Some kind of action that scares you from actually doing that thing, right? Then you gotta do that next action. So this, like I said, these first 5 steps, they're continuous. They're not like, oh, I just did it once and I'm done. I'm talking about actually aligning by doing an action that really is blocking you in your mindset, right? Because your mindset comes up as you take action in getting the things that you want. It could be even a relationship, right? Maybe you want a relationship and you're not getting your 10K client because your relationship sucks with your spouse or something like that. Then you have to actually change that dynamic in order to welcome in your 10K client. You see what I'm saying? Okay, so that's the 3rd step, is do the one action that really scares you at that moment. The 4th step is follow your process to get to the specific outcome, right? So this means you got to put out your offer. A lot of people, they don't actually do this. They think, oh yeah, my ideal client knows exactly what I want them to buy from me. I'm like, no, like if you're not getting out there, you don't put your offer out there like consistently, or to even know what you're launching, the ideal client will not find you, right? So if you're gonna do, okay, so there's a difference now with your offers. There's the offers that, because remember, your ideal client is a spectrum of an evolution, okay? Your ideal client would be either 3 steps below you, right, energetically, or 2 steps above you. So that means that you have 5 different kinds of offers you can put out there. You can put out like a $7 meditation, you can put out a $500 offer, right? A one-off session, an intensive, a retreat, a group program, your private programs. Like, well, that's actually like 7 different things. But you see what I mean? Your ideal client, you have to meet her at where she's at, the level. That means you have to be able to put out the right offer and have that available for her to buy from you, okay? But I'm talking about your high-end clients. So you're really looking at something that's like usually private, at a private level, and that's like a 10K type of offer, right? So like there's like the 10K offer, there's like the 5K offer, the 3K offer, right? The 1.5K offer, the $500 offer, the $200 offer, right? Your ideal client is like a different evolution of her soul. So depending on what's in her pocket and depending on what she wants as a transformation, obviously your high-end 10K client wants a bigger package that includes all of this stuff, right? All of your offers into one. Your private client would need to be ready for you, right, to receive that transformation. So you have to get clear on what is the exact transformation she's getting as the end product, right? When you know that outcome, then you think about all the details, right? You don't really actually know all the details about your offers until you're kind of actually offering it. So you can just write an outline and put that offer out there, right? So remember, your 10K client will most likely be a private client, unless you have a group mastermind that, you know, you're charging 10K or something like that. Then anything over $3,000 or $2,500, you need to get on a phone call with her, because you need to understand her problem and understand if you solve her problem and understand whether she is ready for, right, to solve that problem, and she has to commit to it. So getting on a phone call is the key, right? So you have to call this ideal person to you on an energetic level, right? Align to your superpower, number 1, not your life challenges. Number 2, create sacred space to create an activation of that intention of getting her to come into you. Who is she really? Number 3, you have to take that one action, right, that scares the heck out of you in order to release this mindset that's blocking you. Number 4, you need to follow that process, right, to get to the specific outcome, and you need to put out that offer. And usually if it's a 10K type of client offer, you need to get on a phone call with her, okay? So when you're there, you create like post or something about what the offer really kind of looks like. You can put it out there, or you can just put a link to your schedule book so that you're saying, I'm calling this type of person, I would like to talk with you, and you describe her symptoms and her problems so she knows that you have the solution for her. Okay, that's number 4. Number 5 is follow up and talk to lots of people. And this is what nobody does. Talk to lots of people. You can PM message, you can email people. However you engage with your audience, I would reach out to either specific people that you know that would be really good for this 10K offer, right? Or just create engagement on your page, like ask questions to your audience that they easily can answer in like 5 minutes, right? And at this level, you have to really forget of all the strategies that you've learned and just kind of like go with the flow with what feels like to do that day. Okay, so one way is right after you ask all these questions, you're going to get lots of people commenting. So within like the 3rd or the 4th hour, after you've got that post and it's gone viral, then put out your offer. Put out something that they can get a free opt-in, they could get a free masterclass from you, right? They could join your Facebook group, whatever it is to get her to come towards you, right? And usually if you have online business, and if you have offline business, it goes the same way too. You would create a meetup group or something like that in person, a workshop. Most likely you'll bring them into your Facebook group. You would do a class to give value. You would create increased engagement to get them to follow you, right? For a certain period of time. Okay, so like maybe for like a week, you're just like every day showing up, and you show up to create the engagement so your audience starts to see you. And you actually need to follow up and talk with them. So let's say you do a masterclass like this, then you see a list of all the people that showed up. You go reach out to them and say, hi, how was my class? Did you like it? What did you learn from it? So you can get feedback, because you want to get some market research to know whether what you're talking about really is what your ideal client really wants and needs. Okay. Is that making sense for everybody? I know I'm going through this really fast because we got to get to 10 steps. We're on number 5. Okay. Remember now, the 5 first steps is what you do on a consistent basis. And if you miss any of these 5 steps, your 10K client will not really show up. This has to be on a regular basis, because remember, you need to align to your superpower. You need to create sacred space. You need to create activation, the intention. You need to create that one action that scares you, because you need to change your mindset. You need to follow up and do this process, right, to get to the outcome that you want to get. Put out that offer. Number 5, follow up and talk to lots of people by engaging with them, whether it's you make a Facebook post or you do it in your Facebook group, or however you want to do it. But you remember now, after each time, you have to have some kind of offer, a call to action after that, right? And usually the call to actions, it should be 3 major things. Come to your Facebook group, come to your one main opt-in where they can get into your email list, right? Or a masterclass or some kind of training where they get a deeper value and an experience, like live coaching or something like that, to get them to come to you. So your ideal client, right, if she's a 10K client, she will most likely want private help, or she would like to get to know whether, like, get educated, whether she should even work with you, right? Because if you want a 10K client, she has to already be a warm lead, right? Then become a hot lead by actually experiencing something deeper, like how you guys are now. You're listening to my class and you're like taking up all of this sponge of value, right? You want to be able to engage with her until she's like, yes, 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 I need to work with you, right? Where she's really waving her hands and you're like, where are you? And you're looking through all the crowd and you're like, yes, you are it, okay? All right, so number 5, right? Follow up and create that engagement. Number 6 is, like I said, show up consistently, even if you're not sure how. Okay, so this is another thing that you're probably not doing, is consistently showing up. Why people don't consistently show up and they procrastinate is because they have an imposter syndrome, usually. There's other things that has to do with it. It's usually imposter syndrome, or you have a perfectionism type of mindset. So the only way to get over it is you have to show up. You have to do that live stream. You have to do whatever it takes to create that engagement, right? If you don't consistently show up, no one's going to know that what kind of value you give, or any experience from you, right? Especially if you're online. Okay, so that's number 6. Is everybody getting it? Maybe if you already kind of get all of them, you can maybe type at the bottom in the comments saying like number 1, number 2, and 3, 4, number 5, number 6. You know, the ones that I'm talking about. That'd be so awesome if you could put that inside of the chat. Okay, so number 6, show up consistently even if you're not sure how. There's always a way to do things, and there's no specific way, especially when it comes to really getting your ideal client. She just needs to see you and needs to feel your energy, right? So number 7, let go of all the things not aligned. So as you guys saw, I did like a really big purge, getting rid of like over 1,000 of my friends so that I could really open up to new Facebook friends or new people into my feed. And you actually want to do this when you really feel like things like the engagement is just not there, and for some reason not a lot of people are responding. It's good to do a purge, okay? Whether it's that unsubscribing to email lists, cleaning your house, cleaning in corners where you never ever clean, for example, cleaning your garage, you know, cleaning digital things like folders on top of your computer. Like, think of anything that you can really release and let go of. That just doesn't really help you at all. It's just sitting there, it's become stagnant. So yeah, let go of all the things that are not aligned, and really get ready for this new kind of ideal person to come to you. And what you want to do is, as you engage with people, get to know them. Like, find out, ask them, what is your problems that you're facing with right now? What kind of symptoms are you dealing with on a daily basis? What's your life like? Why is that so hard for you? Why do you feel stuck? Why are you in a catch-22? Just talk with them to find out really what the problem is, so that you can actually find out whether, remember, you've got all those different ways that you can offer to her, right? Which offer is the best for her? Is it a meditation? Is it, right, it's like a small offer? Is it a medium-sized offer where she gets into your group program? Is it a more high-end offer, right? What does she need from you in order to move forward? Okay. And so what you can do is you can take any of your current clients and upsell them to some offer that it's correct for them, right? Because you're going to weed out all the different people before you get to your 10K client, and you have to be willing to like let go each little piece so that you can actually find the most ideal, really, really good client who wants to pay that amount of money to you. And what would be interesting is it's usually going to be somebody that has been watching you for like a year or 2, or has, like, you might not even know that she's following you. Actually, she could be following you for years, and then suddenly it's just the right time that you did a masterclass or a live stream, or you did some kind of value gave, and she's like, oh, it's time. She's the one that needs to help me right now. I've been so stuck. I've been struggling. I need help. And she's ready to say, I need help. I need help, right? She's raising her hand, okay? So that's the 8th step, is connect to your ideal client at that moment, right? You can actually really see her. You have to actually see her at that moment, because you have to like recognize that is her. And you can recognize her by the way she speaks. So she might say like, she might be saying like she has a specific problem, And when she explains her problem, you're like, yeah, I can get rid of that. I can get rid of that. I can get rid of that. Like, you're going through all the list of what your ideal client really needs help with. And then you're like, oh, she's the one. Oh my God, she's my 10K client I've been waiting for. I've been dreaming about her. I've been doing all of this intention. I've been like marketing my butt off, right? You're going to feel like she's the one. By this 8th step, you're going to have to be able to feel this, and you're going to have to be able to recognize her, because she actually will be crying. She'll be literally crying, and you'll be crying too, because you're like, wow, I've been doing all of this effort, and I wean out all of these people who are not really aligned to me, and oh my God, like, there you are. And you were like my friend for like how long? And like, I didn't realize that you really, really needed my help. I could have reached out to you like 10 years ago or however long it was, right? That's what it will feel like, okay? Is you just automatically have connected to her, but you didn't realize that that was her. You just didn't realize that. So when you realize it, and then she just shows up, you will know, because you both will be crying, okay? Does that make sense? By this time, you have to have done these 5 major steps over and over again until you've gotten to this 8th step. Then you've found her. By this time, you should have found her, and she is just super ready for you, okay? Then the 9th step, did everybody get all the 8 steps? If you didn't, put it in the chat, okay? The 9th step is you really need to create what I call another vortex, a sacred space, another kind of activation, okay? Or some kind of like sacred space ritual where you kind of created intention. But this is different than the first one that you created, okay? The first one you created is like a kind of like a activation for just in general, like people to find you, to connect with you, right? And you create the engagement, you've been visible, you showed up, right? These are kind of like for the kind of ideal clients who really may not have paid you the exact 10K amount, but they're kind of like getting to becoming your 10K client, right? Because remember, your 10K client has to kind of go through either a progression of what you create your offers, right? Or she's just automatically ready there, right? This kind of vortex, this kind of activation you're creating would be to really welcome this 10K type of client, like a private client, right? Think of it as like a frequency, like a template of exactly who she is, because you found her. And you would kind of do a little ritual or some kind of activation to say like, anybody who is just exactly like this ideal client that you just found, right? And you're both crying, right? You go back into your heart and your sacred space, and you call out all the people that are just like her, like the same kind of frequency that's just like her. And so yeah, like by this time, she will be able to recognize you, and all the other people who are very similar to her, they will start coming too, okay? So that's the 9th step, right? Create like a sacred space or this ritual, this vortex that brings this new frequency of this kind of person. Then the 10th step is just get into the flow of everything that you love doing. Get into your genius. Do all the things that are your genius, okay? So if you're not a techie person, don't be doing techie things. Go give it to your VA or somebody else, right? You're just doing marketing that comes from your heart, that you just create a masterclass, you're just like up and running and you're flowing, you're like, hell yeah, I love this stuff, right? I love doing this. And so get in your flow and connect with nature. So like every day, go out in nature, whether it's sit by a tree outside of your house, right? Whether it's go for a walk in the park, whether it is, like for me, I always go at the end of the day to the beach. Either I sit on a beach, or I jump in the water, or I go to a waterfall, or I go to any place that lets me feel connected, okay? So when you get into that flow and you're in nature and you're connecting with people, just continue connecting with people every day, right? But by moment, and let your presence really, really shine and step into your leadership. This last stage, the 10th stage, this should be like your new normal. Like every day you show up, you're a leader, everybody's following, everybody's commenting to your stuff, everybody's like into what you want to share, right? And you're just continuously engaging with them, and they're like, wow, she has really good stuff. I want to like keep learning more from her, and eventually they will become ready to become your 10K client. Does that make sense? So get into your flow at the very end, and you just got to keep letting that momentum come through by aligning again to your superpower. Okay, so I'm going to go over again the 10 steps really fast. So first one, align to your superpower, not your life challenges, because that's really important. You don't want to be aligning to the wrong energy of your soul, because that's going to call all the wrong ideal clients to you. Step 2, create a sacred space and intention or this new activation, right? And be really clear about who your ideal client is so that you can call that exact type of person. And imagine, and if you're doing a group setting, imagine there's a group circle of women or women and men. Like imagine like you're creating a circle, right? Number 3, do the one action that really scares the hell out of you. Okay, so if you're not working on your business and you're doing everybody else's stuff, that means work on your business, right? If you are not marketing, go market. If you are not being visible, be visible, right? Whatever mindset that's blocking you, you need to face it by doing a thing that scares the hell out of you, and you have to consistently check on this like every week. So you're changing your mindset to overcome any perfectionism, imposter syndrome, the shiny object syndrome. There's so many things that would block you from procrastinating and not actually doing what you want to do, right? So do the action that scares you. Number 4, follow your process to get to the outcome and put out that offer. So whatever it takes to let people understand that, what exactly you're putting out there. You got to put out your calendar link, put out, right? So people can actually get into a phone call with you, or put out that sales page, or put out your paypal.me link, with the amount of money, make a little post of, it can be really your sales page, and just put your post of paypal.me, pay me here, right? Number 5 is follow up and talk to a lot of people and create engagement, right? Ask a lot of questions to your audience, have them engage with you, throw out like master classes or live streams or whatever value you can give, so people get their experience and educated about what you do and how you help them, right? Number 6, show up consistently, right? Even if you don't really know exactly how. So consistently show up, like write stuff on your page, even show just silly things, right? Something that's funny, or a quote that you learned from somebody else's page, or something interesting, right? If you like doing readings, do readings. Whatever makes you happy to share and give value, right? Show up consistently. 7 is let go of all the things that are not aligned to you, right? So that you can bring in a new energy of clients and people to you. And if when they come, right, they're engaging with you, give them the correct offer that is aligned to them, right? So you have all the different kinds of offers, right? The 10K, the 5K, the 3K, the 1.5K, the $500 offer, the $200 offer, the $50 offer, the $7 offer, whatever is the offer, you can always upsell any of your people, your audience, into buying that thing. And you can easily make a link to anybody pay you by just put paypal.me / and a number amount that you want to create. Okay. Like if you want $100, they can just click on that link. They pay you $100 on your PayPal. You already got it there. You do have to set it up, of course, on the paypal.me, but that's the easiest way to get paid. Okay. Number 8 is connect with that ideal client, that 10K client, and recognize her. Jump for joy. Wait until she really shows up, because you're going to weed out all the people who are not really specifically aligned to become your 10K client, right? And at that point, when you recognize her, you will be crying, she will be crying, you'll be so happy that you finally found each other, okay? And most likely she's going to be a friend, she's going to be somebody who's already known you for so many years, and then suddenly you did a live stream or a masterclass or something like that where she was like, you are the one, I need your help right now, and she wants to pay you the exact 10K, okay? 9 is create sacred space, but this is a new kind of activation, right? Where you create a vortex energy, where you welcome this ideal client and you've created this new kind of template of this type of 10K client, and you put a new intention to have the same kind of client, right? Who vibrates at the same energy, who's really ready for you, who will maybe even refer you to somebody else that could become another 10K client. Do you see what I'm saying? So you have to create that new activation, a new vortex for her to receive the energy from you, directly from your heart to her heart. So by that time, she already has experienced you, right? All of the 7 steps ahead of that I just said, she already have had experienced you. So when she just comes in and she's like ready, she's just like, I want to pay you, okay? So number 9. Then number 10 is get into your flow. Go in nature. Go sit by a tree. Connect with people moment by moment by moment, okay? Whatever feels good. And maybe it might be like a lot of engagement, right? But it's a really good thing, because the more you engage with people, the more you can even ask questions about what your client, your audience, what people need from you. And when you do that market research and you have this continuous conversations, you understand what problems you solve, what symptoms you solve, right, for her. What is the exact solution you give her? And your ideal client will be able to recognize that as soon as you are clear on how you help her with what are the things that she needs help with at the moment. So when you're in the moment, you just, again, upsell her to a specific offer that you know that's right for her at the moment, okay? No matter how big or small, there's something that somebody can buy from you and can easily be in your flow, right? And really let your presence shine. Really step into your leadership, like into your soul line leadership. Like, here I am here to help guide people. I'm here to help people. Like, people are really attracted to those who really are in their leadership. So this means that you're really a true entrepreneur, where you're just showing up, you know, you give value. People are just like, wow, she's just consistently always there on my page. Like, what is she doing next? And people get really interested by what you do. Did that all make sense? So that was 10 steps. I went through each of it because I wanted you guys to see the process. But remember, the first 5 steps needs to happen all the time. You have to consistently show up. You have to be in the flow to help your ideal client. So now, if you guys want, you can ask me any other questions. I'll just leave some time for that. And if you're, you're just like, okay, this is cool, I got enough of what I wanted, you can totally just jump off. But this is the part where I really want to understand what your pitfalls are, where your problems are. You can share with me, like, in any of these 10 processes, right, in 10 steps, where you got stuck. Maybe you can put in the chat number 1, like, I get stuck at number 1. I don't know what the hell my superpower is, right? Or I get stuck on number 6, like, I show up, but then I forget to be consistent and I just procrastinate and I don't market myself, right? What is it? Because normally it's a mindset problem where you get stuck. So if you tell me what it is, and you let me know in the chat box, in the comments, I can maybe even give you an idea of what mindset that you're kind of hitting. Okay, so let's see who else is still on. If you guys are listening, just say hi, because I don't really see any comments. I only see if you guys are watching my camera. So yeah, put your question at the bottom. There's no stupid questions. Everything that I share with you, this is soul alignment stuff, and it applies to everybody. Totally applies to everybody. If you ask me a question, it applies to everybody that's on the call. So there's no stupid question. There's just, where you are right now. Where do you feel blocked, and why aren't you getting that 10K client? I did this, and in like the last week, and I was like, wow, there is steps to this. I just don't, you know, because I'm very process and organic, so I don't really know what I'm doing until I'm doing it. And I'm like, wow, this is really good steps. So I had to share it with you guys. It's like this is like simple steps, but it's so important to know what's the steps before you go to the next one, right? And whatever you are, like if you're number 6, that you've been doing up to number 6 so far. Now this is where you're doing it like within a week process or something like that, or you've done it over 2 weeks or something, where your offer is very clear and people are really like engaging with you and they really know that you are that person. You will get to the 10K client. Don't worry, you'll get to the number 8 when your ideal client shows up, right? That's the 10K client. But you have to at least do up to number 5. Like, if I was you right now, like I would do that like today, right? Align to your superpower, create your sacred space, your ideal client, right? Follow your process to get to the outcome, put out the offer. Follow up on lots of people, engage with them, ask them questions, talk about it, talk about what you're giving value about. And by that time, you should be showing up consistently anyway. So then after that, it's just a no-brainer. People are like raving at you. They want to know more. They want to experience more of you. And simply, if you don't really know how to do a masterclass, if you can do a live stream like what I'm doing right now, do it in your Facebook group. You don't need any fancy pages, because eventually they're going to become your clients, or they could have opted into your list as you keep putting out your main opt-in out, or your Facebook group. Obviously, it's the best to put them into your email list, but eventually they'll end up there. If you're doing this all the time, every day, and this is just how you're aligning and you're having fun with it, she'll end up there. She'll end up in your email list. She'll get into your master classes. She will want to know more about what you do, right? You have to really bring out this from a spiritual perspective, because otherwise you're just going to get stuck with all the techie stuff, or get stuck with what content am I supposed to create for my program, or even get stuck on what the heck the offer is, right? Most people get stuck on number 2, because they first are not in their superpower, and number 2, they're not in their, they don't really know who their ideal client is. Okay, and I don't want you to be stuck there. You want to be able to have the clear intention, create that activation, so that you can do all the rest of these steps, the 10 steps that I just explained to you. All right, so I'm gonna go back and look at who shared this live stream. So again, if you want to win a prize for me for Thanksgiving, just above the link here, the live stream, just copy it. You know, how to manifest your next 10K client. Just share that on your page or in your Facebook group or somewhere, and just like screenshot it or something and just send it to me if I don't see it. And then I'll put you guys in a prize, like a winning prize for Thanksgiving. And I'll announce it probably maybe Friday, because everybody's going to be in Thanksgiving, and I want you guys to enjoy dinners with everybody. Enjoy the dinners. I'm pretty sure everybody's going to eat a lot, or us, we're just going to go in nature, or maybe even end up on the other side of the island and just do some camping and being in nature. That's kind of what we're going to do for Thanksgiving weekend. Or maybe even you might just end up working on your business and spending time by yourself. Like, that's so important to do during the holidays, and just to just relax, right? Okay, so I guess nobody has questions. I guess I banged it all out. My 10 steps to getting your manifest your next 10K client. So if you're listening, or you're listening to the replay, go listen to all the steps, because I repeated myself, I think like 4 or 5 times of the steps. You should at least have gotten by now, and write it down in your notes, or put it out somewhere. I would actually like take these steps and put it on your board, like put it out on your whiteboard or your cork board or whatever board that you actually look at, and remind yourself every day to do those 5 first steps all the time, right? Because when you're taking that action, you're shifting your mindset, you're getting clear about who she is, you created that activation, you're creating that engagement, then at that point, when you're done that point, then you know what steps to do next, right? And by that time, you should really have manifest your ideal client. If not, then there's some kind of mindset problem that's happening, and that's probably why she's not coming, okay? Because your ideal client should be able to be ready for you at any moment, at any time. It's always just the perfect timing when she shows up. I think like the last 2-3 months, like I made these 10K clients that was just like amazing. And I didn't realize I was doing this process. And so, you know, I made over 40K in just 2 months or so by doing this process. So I know it works. So try it. Let me know how it is. How did it work for you? If you get stuck somewhere, you know, post here on my Facebook group, in this free Facebook group, and ask me questions on where you might have got stuck or why something is not working. I think somebody asked me about why she was getting the wrong ideal client and a lot of haters, and I was like, well, you're not doing the first step. You haven't aligned to your superpower. You're aligning to your life challenges. And she's just like was so upset, and I was like, well, that's true. Like if you get the wrong ideal people to you, most likely you haven't done number 1 and 2, right? Align to your superpower, create a sacred space with the right intention. All of these, that first 2 steps is so important. You should always know this, and you have to create depending on what your manifestation needs to be. This applies into your relationships, in your lifestyle, everything. You can totally do that in any of it. Okay. Anyway, well, I'm gonna get off. It is almost an hour. It's been like 50 minutes, I think. So I love you guys. If you have any other questions, look out for my post about who's winning the prize here in my Facebook group. And happy Thanksgiving if you guys celebrate that. And it's always good to be thankful anyway, right? To all the people that you love, and sending the love letters or just a hi or something like that of how you appreciate them, I think is a good idea to do, because that always brings in the best ideal clients and the best relationships. All right. Well, you guys have a beautiful day. I love you. Aloha.